Welcome back to the show. My guests are Nancy Bollinger and Jamie Stange, and they're telling me about the Self-Help Center in Afton. I want to continue our discussion so you can tell me specifically about the participants and some of the situations that they're dealing with.
Okay, well, at the center we find individuals who, a lot of people today just don't have health coverage, and for some reason they fall into the cracks in the systems of care. So we're that place where they can come. There's no cost to come in. And all they have to do, whether it's a diagnosed or not, just have those symptoms, or maybe a family member has the symptoms that you're wanting to find out more about. And so it's just a way to try to get you some help some way. So we focus on peer-to-peer help through use of our certified peer specialist, through our support groups for depression, anxiety, self-esteem.
Even informal peer support,
Yes.
just the socialization. So you're not at home isolating. I would say anywhere from anxiety to stress to anger. That's one thing that led me to the center myself personally, was I suffered a lot of anger issues.
So yeah, tell me specifically how you got involved with Self-Help Center.
Self-Help Center came about, I was friends with Nancy prior. Nancy was the executive director. I started crying a lot, I bottle things up, have a lot of anger, and it kind of started getting the better of me. I started isolating, not talking to friends, family, and she had me come down to the center, told me about the center. I came in, I loved it. I started going to groups, I started learning things about myself, ways to deal with things, ways to cope. After that, I started volunteering at the center. And then I moved up to where I started working at the center. I became an employee. Being an employee, I was afforded the ability to be able to go to trainings. I went to the peer specialist training myself. I'm a certified Missouri peer specialist as well. And that did wonders for me. It didn't just allow me to help others, it allowed me to help myself. Through that process, I started learning ways to help others then. Basically the help that I was given, it gives back. And that's kind of how the peer support runs through the Self-Help Center. I became a QPR instructor, which is question, persuade, refer. It is a suicide intervention course. What happened was, actually it wasn't long after we had taken that course, and I've lost some family members through suicide. And it helped me to heal myself and to be able to deal with the feelings and thoughts of losing a loved one to suicide, but it also helped me to question others. It helped me then to learn the question, persuade, refer. When somebody is in crisis, ask those important questions, to find out where they're at, if they need immediate help or if they just need a friend or an ear for the moment. I had found myself at one time through a med change. And I had called Nancy, she was one of my trusted supports, and I was literally seeing things in the wall. It was like a demon to me is what I had referred it to, and I knew that I wasn't well. A lot of that had to do with my training when I was well. So when I had called her, I was crying, I was scared, I was completely freaked out, and I'd hang up the phone with her and then, call right back. And I felt bad because I felt like I was bothering her, and she's like, no, you're okay, just keep calling. But I knew I was safe with what she was asking me, what she was telling me. It got to the point to where she told me, I thought you were, I think you're okay. Why don't you take a hot shower? Call me when you get out of your hot shower. So we played the phone call a few times, and then finally I'm like, okay, I'm getting in the shower. So I did feel a little better. And then after that, she was like, well, why don't you go ahead and take your Ambien? Because I was prescribed, a sleeping aid. And then I was like, but it's 6 o'clock. And she's like, it's okay. It's okay. Just go to sleep. Call me in the morning. We played phone tag again because I kept calling. I wasn't sure. And finally I did. And it was great. And then she helped me the next morning to talk with my doctor and help me go through that program.
And I appreciate you sharing that sort of testimony, not only how you got involved, but just, your story, because I do feel like there is this gap where people just don't know who to call. I mean, when you hear this all the time with young people, suicidal thoughts, they go on social media, go to, their friends, but they're not trained and they're not peers that are trained. So I mean, the goal is really to spread the word about your services.
It is, and we do have free training for individuals to recognize those red flags and how to interact, how to get people help. Those are the third Wednesday and Thursday of every month, and you can call our number at 314-200-HELP for more information on that.
Okay, well that's great. No, we have that information on the screen. We'll throw it up again. It's the Self-Help Center. It's really important to emphasize this is at no cost. It's free. They see adults at no cost. Call 314-200-HELP or go to the website to visit if you yourself, if anything we've talked about today overlaps with that or someone that you know. And I really appreciate you being here. It means a lot to hear. Thank you. To hear direct testimonies, and I think it's great that you're now helping others. And good luck with you running this wonderful center. Thank you. And next up, actually on STL TV, we're going to talk about events. So get your calendar out because there are some great events coming up and you'll want to be ready. Details when we return.